All right, welcome back, dear student. My name is Jana. I am an assistant professor at Charles University in Prague. I love educating about well-being, and I'm very happy to have you here with me in this student well-being course. Because in this particular video, you and I are going to try to answer a very important question, that is, what is well-being? We are going to look at some definitions. We are going to try to structure well-being down. But before we do that, I would like you to think for a minute for yourself about what is well-being to you. What does it feel like? What do you experience when you feel well? Or vice versa, what well-being is not to you. Uh, so when you feel well, do you feel maybe productive, energized? Maybe you feel like your life is balanced, or do you feel healthy in general? And of course, I did not mention the word healthy accidentally. That's exactly where I would like us to go right now. I'd like us to take a step back and to look at well being from a little more broad perspective. Here we have a picture that's going to help us to visualize World Health Organization's definition of health. World Health Organization in 1948, which is pretty much some time ago, but I still believe that the definition of health is very, very up to date. Defined health as a complete state of mental, physical, and social health. So even though in the next slide we are going to look at more specifically on mental well-being and what does it how can we understand mental health and mental well-being, in this course you and I are going to devote our time to thinking about how can we support and build your overall well-being, not only in our mental not only our mental state, but also what can we do to support your well-being physically and in a social component of your life. So how does World Health Organization define mental health? WHO says that mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes their abilities, can cope with the normal stress of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to their community. I very much like this definition, especially if you look at that. Um, Basically, what it says is that you and I are capable to realize our abilities. What are we naturally good at? What are our strengths? What are we capable to do? But we can also cope with the normal stress of life. Uh, Now we can ask ourselves, what is normal stress of life? Of course, it's very specific, very individualized, and very subjective, because what can be a normal stress of life to one can be, let's say, too much for someone else, or one experience for you can appear like a normal stress of life, and under different circumstances, it can be too much for you as well. But my students usually give examples like they missed the bus on the way to school, so now they're running late, or they lost connection during, let's say, online meeting, or their essay got rejected and now they have to rewrite it, or something like that. Um, but we can also, if we feel mentally healthy, can work productively, can create things. It's Our days are not only about surviving, how my students would say, but it's also about creating, being productive, and we are able to contribute to our community. We are in mood to socialize, we are cooperative, and we like to contribute. So the question now can be, is there any definition of well-being, like overall well-being? CDC basically says that there is no consensus around a single definition of well-being, but there is general agreement that, at minimum, well-being includes the presence of positive emotions and moods. We'll go back to this. the absence of negative emotions, satisfaction with life, fulfillment, and positive functioning. So let's look deeper at this, let's say, definition about there is no one definition, but the consensus basically concludes that all the definitions agree on that well-being includes presence of positive emotions and moods. I think this is understandable to us, that we feel in peace, we feel happiness, we are experiencing positive emotions. At the same time, there is an absence of negative emotions. And I would like us to stop here for a second, because if you look at the examples like depression and anxiety, those are examples of long-term, chronic, negative experiences. But as we all know, negative emotions play a very important part in our well-being, in our very natural part of our everyday life. Both you and I, all of us, go up and down in our moods and in our emotions during the day. Our emotions fluctuate, and it's very not only it's very natural, but also negative emotions, like I mentioned, play a very important role in informing us about what might be wrong in our life, what we might like to change, or we're just experiencing some, let's say, momentary stress or momentary anxiety towards, let's say, exam or something, which is very natural and very normal. But also, we agreed on that there is a satisfaction with life. Subjectively, we would say that we are happy about our lives. We cognitively assess our lives as good. But then there's also fulfillment. We feel fulfilled, and positive functioning. So the positive functioning, what can that be? Here's actually what my students usually say, that it's not only about surviving the day, but it's also about being able to do something, not only to get up and somehow get in school, somehow survive the day and go back and manage our evenings, but we actually really pay attention at school. We are cooperative, we contribute, we create, and hopefully we feel some fulfillment while doing that. And what I really love from CDC is the bottom line, that in simple terms, well-being can be described as judging life positively and feeling good. So judging life positively means that we, like I mentioned, we are happy about our life. We assess our life as good, but also important part of our well-being is feeling good in our lives. We experience positivity, we experience positive emotions, and we experience safety, fulfillment, and we just feel energized and all these things. So this bottom line basically shows or points at the cognitive part and the emotional part of our well-being. This judging life positively, if we look at measurements in the most satisfied and most happy nations worldwide, I'm sure that some of you heard that top most satisfied or happy nations in the world, or leading nations, are usually northern European countries like Denmark, Finland, Switzerland. And we, in this particular thinking, it's all about looking back at our life and thinking how satisfied we are with our life in overall. And there's World Happiness Report, I'm sorry, World Happiness Report, that is reporting or assessing how are we doing worldwide in judging life positively. But then we also have Gallup, which is an organization that measures how are we feeling in our lives, how many or how often do we feel positively, how many like positive emotions do we experience within our last few hours, like specifically 24 hours or a week, how many negative emotions we experience, and then we kind of like process the data. And here, the happiest nations are little differently compared to life satisfaction. The leading nations happiest are usually Nicaragua, Panama, Uruguay. So we could say that nations that do the cultures that do express emotions more openly, I would say. But this might be just an interesting fact for you. And this can also help us to understand better how do we look at well-being. So main parts, we are satisfied with our life. We are happy in our life as well. There's some absence of chronic mental discomfort or emotional and mood discomfort. And yes, so I do hope that this video helped us to understand what is well-being, how do we look at well-being, and we are Univerzity. This project is also under Project Univerzity, and I am happy that we have still many videos in front of us to look at. And I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you in the next video when we are going to try to fraction down our well-being into specific areas of our life. So for now, be well. I'm in all this with you. I care for you, and I'm going to see you in a minute.